Hello and welcome back to another Archaeo-Scope. Now this video actually I hadn't planned on making until about 10 minutes ago, when something just occurred to me. I thought that would make a darned fine Archaeo-Scope video. So I figured I would record this, put it out there and see what you think about today's topic. Now this series is kind of like an inverted question of doom, where rather than you sending me questions to try and research and answer in some way, hopefully in a useful way, I ask you a question. I put a question out there, and together through discussion we try and come up with an answer, well, not a solution, but a series of opinions, and hopefully a bigger sense of the issues surrounding this question, usually with an archaeological or historical twist on it. And today's one actually is anthropological in that sense. It actually is. Today's Archaeo-Scope has been inspired by a couple of days ago. Mrs. Soup and I were watching the Man of Steel movie, the most recent Superman film. It recently came out on DVD or Blu-ray, if that's your thing. And we were watching it, and she's not the biggest fan of Superman. I have to say, I prefer Batman, and also so does she, just because of the characters, and also because she thinks he's more relatable. It's very important for Mrs. Soup to find characters relatable. But anyway, the point is, we're watching Man of Steel, and there's this situation in the film. I'm not going to ruin it for you. There's no spoilers in this video, but there's a situation in the film where Superman is talking to a Kryptonian. And if you don't know that there are Kryptonian baddies in this film by now, having watched the trailer, then clearly you don't care about the film, and in that case I'm not spoiling anything for you. But anyway, he's talking to this Kryptonian person, and they say something along the lines of, the fact that you possess a sense of morality means you have already lost. For the fact that I have no sense of morality gives me an evolutionary advantage. And she goes, and if history has taught us one thing, it is that evolution always wins. And then things happen after that. And initially when I was watching it, I was thinking, well, you know, whatever. Get back into the rest of the story, please. But actually, it sort of soaked in through the rest of the film. But actually, what she was talking about was a load of rubbish, absolute load of codswallop, tosh, you know, pith, whatever. It was a load of crap, because my understanding is actually morality, kin or sense of kin, loyalty to people who aren't your kin, just altruism in general, is actually one of the defining characteristics of being a successful species, or certainly a successful species which has language and culture, clothing, art, music, so on and so forth. It's actually one of the biggest mysteries, or was for a good long while, one of the big discussions of the 20th century, certainly in anthropology, was why do we, for example, risk our lives for people who aren't directly related to us? People like Hamilton, Dunbar, and Marcel Mauss, when he looked at the gift and the implications of gift giving. You don't give a gift often just to give it, even though many people think they do. In some way you're sort of investing in someone, and at some point they will give something back to you, whether that's a physical gift or just a gift of time or gift of attention. The point is, gift giving is part of what makes us a successful species. It means that we can actually rely on the people around us. We give gifts, we back up and reinforce relationships in that way. How we select, for example, the people that we care about, how we make choices about, for example, you know, whether or not to save someone who's about to fall out of a window, which may well take you with them, is all tied in with a very complicated series of notions and ideas, and on some level calculations, which actually go beyond just sort of survival of the most well adapted. It's actually you're essentially betting on the fact that if you're good to people, or if you're reasonable to people around you, they'll be reasonable back to you, and therefore everyone wins, everyone benefits from that. Some people lose, but if you keep on betting enough, you're going to win eventually, and that's part of actually what makes a successful species. It's actually what many people call a buffer. This is part of the cultural buffer which humans, and presumably Kryptonians, because they're so darn advanced, developed. It's the reason why, for example, I can live here in the northeast of England, where sometimes the weather's absolutely terrible, but because people build houses, I haven't had to build Archaeo-Scope towers, because there is a structure which gives us electricity and gives us food and clothing, and the ability to call on people around us, is the reason why it's possible to live where we live, and even further north in Scandinavia, in the Arctic Circle, in desert situations. It's a crucial element of being a successful human being. So actually, the morality, whether or not you want to bring religious morality into it, that doesn't really matter. What matters is you having a sense of right and wrong actions, and how that impacts on the people around you, is a key part of being a successful person, isn't it? Or being a successful species. Certainly, again, as I say, a successful species which has culture, which has the things that we deem human. So it just occurred to me actually that actually she was sort of talking rubbish. She was talking a load of nonsense. And then I thought, well, actually, no, she wasn't. Someone wrote that. A writer was talking a load of nonsense when that was written. And the reason why I thought that I'd make this video, I suppose just to put out there, is, first of all, am I right? Was she actually talking a load of nonsense? I think I'm right. And Anthropology seems to back me up on that, but was she? But then secondly, why is that presumably the popular impression that somehow evolution and being a success in terms of evolution, natural selection, and being adaptable to various pressures around you, in your environment, in your social sphere, in your part of the world, being adaptable means being cold and being honed and being sharp and being brutal. Why is that the popular perception of being an evolutionarily successful creature? Because surely that writer, whoever wrote that, or that bunch of writers, let's face it, it's a Hollywood film, that bunch of writers, they would no doubt agree that humanity possesses so many worthy emotions and so many things, attributes which they write about and put into their films every day to bring love to people. So those are important elements that no doubt the writers would accept about humanity. But for some reason, when they think about evolution, and I suppose to a certain extent broader science, and broader, for example, humanities, anthropology, sociology, so on and so forth, the idea somehow that coldness is good, coldness is efficient, brutality is what gets you places, seems to pervade. It seems to be quite a popular notion. It seems to have proliferated throughout popular culture. Why is that? I'm not quite sure myself, actually, because immediately the proof is actually counter to that. Every day we hear people doing remarkable things for each other, when there's no, as they would put it, simple evolutionary advantage in that action. However, there is, because as a species we all benefit from altruism, from seemingly untethered giving, as it were. But this giving is actually tethered, and it does benefit the person who has done the giving in a roundabout way. So I suppose, those are my two points and questions, I suppose. First of all, was she talking rubbish? I think she was, but what do you think? And secondly, why do people think that? Why is it such a popular culture reference point, such a popular idea, that brutality means evolutionary efficiency, that being inhumane, is actually what got us to the point where we are today, what got humanity where it is now, in order to be humane. Why is that? Anyway, I'll leave you with those thoughts. Please do have a bit of a think and comment below, have a bit of a discussion. I really want to try and, get to the bottom of this, actually. I really am interested by these ideas. Incidentally as well, I quite like Man of Steel. You may not. I can see why people wouldn't like it. But, each to their own. But of course, you know, Batman is where it's at. And actually, I haven't actually thanked on video, but an Archaeosupian sent in a little Batman figure, actually a Batman and a Joker, for me a little while ago, and I did receive them. Thank you so much. But I haven't put them on video because, well, they're not archaeological, are they? But yeah, I do love Batman. Anyway, do have a think. Do comment below. Do have a bit of a discussion. I look forward to seeing where this goes. Also, as well, hopefully you like the festive atmosphere that's going on the Archaeo-Scope set this year. I've added a little bit more than I did last year, including a tree. So I'm very, very pleased with that. Anyway, as I say, do take care. Until next time, bye bye.